Hey everybody, back again. As was planned, we did a poll for a full album, Joni Mitchell album. And what came out of that was basically a three-way tie between For the Roses, Court and Spark, and Hejira. But I think at the end, what came out was that had the most sort of interest, the most sort of passion to, and one that I would say that is a little bit deserving of a little bit more attention in her albums is For the Roses. And that's one also for me that has a very special place. So yeah, this channel is going to evolve a little bit here and there. So I'm definitely going to be doing full albums, audience, do polls. I'm going to be doing great requests. So at least once a month, I'm going to be doing upcoming requests of you guys, and that I take a quick listen to here and there, and then I find that are the most bombastic, most kind of hit me over the top as far as great material that I've never heard before, and put that all into a sort of monthly segment of some great requests, audience requests, and just increase all of our, better inspirations from what we can gather, It takes a long time to hear music and hear what's out there, so it's great when we can share that. So without further ado, but this is going to be Joni Mitchell, For the Roses. Now we're going to number 9, which is You Turn Me On, I'm a Radio. And this was this was one that was the anomaly in a sense of the album. Definitely the single, and has a totally different feel to it. So, but let's get into that. Let's get into that. You Turn Me On, I'm a Radio.
The dark cloud above you, dialing the number who's bound to love you. Oh honey, you turn me on. I'm a radio, I'm a country station, I'm a little bit corny, I'm a wildflower waiting for you, broadcasting tower waving for you, and I'm sending out this signal here. You can pick it up loud and clear. I know you don't like weak women, you get bored so quick. And you don't like strong women, cause they're hip to your tricks. It's been dirty for dirty down the line, but you know I come when you whistle and you're loving and kind. If you've got too many doubts, no good reception for me, then tune me out. Cause honey, who needs the static? It hurts the head and you wind up cracking, and the day goes dismal from breakfast party to the sign of prayer. What a sorry face you get to wear. I'm gonna tell you again now, if you're still listening there. If you're driving into town with the dark cloud above you, dialing the number who's bound to love you. If you're lying on the beach with the transistor going, kick off the sand flies, honey, the love's still flowing. If the head says forget it, but your heart's still smoking, call me at the station, the lights are open.
So yeah, obviously this one is a very much feels of a good, feel good song, yeah. And I think initially, it definitely has this sort of reminiscent sound of the scene, the scene that she had come from, with Crosby, Stills and Nash and Neil Young, and it almost has like with a harmonica, has that sense of either Neil Young or Dylan kind of feel to it. But it's got a little, it's super laid back. It's got a kind of feel of, it's a musically, yeah, it feels very much in the vein of a certain feel, California feel, very laid back feel. So, and apparently, so it was, as one person stated, yeah, and this was a pretty big hit. But as one person stated, that as they were always, the impression was that this song was about Allison Steele, the legendary late night DJ, WNEW in New York City in the early 70s. It seems hard to imagine now, but there was a time when disc jockeys were exclusively male, and Miss Steele was the first woman to have a show on a major commercial rock station. So that may or may not be the case, but that was certainly one impression. So as Mitchell said, I guess it strengthened my nervous system a little bit, so I finally came back, and this was, after the album in November 1972, or most of 1972, where she was writing this album in the months from late 1971. And so when she did, it was as a house guest of her friend and former agent, Asylum Records co-founder David Geffen, and he asked her straight up to write a hit for her new album. Mitchell did just that with the breezy and sunbright, almost onomatopoetically, which peaked at number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100 and delivered her first Canadian top 10 hit. It was originally recorded with old associates David Crosby, Graham Nash, and Neil Young, but only Nash's harmonica part made the final cut because, as Mitchell put it, while acknowledging that it had been great fun to record, there were too many chefs. Her swooping yodel is in full Zephyr-born flow, and her playful lyrics aimed fair and square at radio DJs. And with history's perspective, the song now reads like a dig at the commodification of creativity that produced it. But to Mitchell's mind, it was just my peculiar warped sense of humor. It obviously stands out on this album as being this sort of outlier, for sure. But taken as it is, it is what it is. She was asked to write a hit, and it's included on the album. And does it fit on the album? Yeah, I don't know. It's the album. The album itself, I don't know if anything has to fit. I don't think she was at a point where everything on the album, it's an outpouring, and I'm sure they had some songs that were maybe left off the album, for whatever reason. But the album is what it is. So you kind of take it with a grain of salt, as just appreciate it for what it is. So yeah, it's a really fun song. It's really laid back. I like the feel of it. I like everything. I like the singing. I like the the instruments, the guitars, as they say, and the harmonica. I would love to hear it. Yeah, with the initial David Crosby or Neil Young. I don't know if they took did harmony parts or what else they played on it. It'd be really cool to hear a little bit more chaotic song, as she said, with too many chefs. I'd love to hear it with a few more ingredients, just to hear the sound of it. But let's go to the next song, and this is Blonde in the Bleachers, and this does have, I think it says Stephen Stills rock and roll band on Blonde in the Bleachers, so I don't know what he's playing here, but we'll see.
Blonde in the bleachers, she flips her hair for you. Above the loudspeakers, you start to fall. She follows you home, but you miss living alone. You can still hear sweet mysteries calling you. The bands and the roadies, loving them and leaving them. It's pleasure to try them, it's trouble to keep them. 'Cause it seems like you've gotta give up such a piece of your soul when you give up the chase. Feeling it hard and cold, you're in rock and roll, it's the nature of the race. It's the unknown child, so sweet and wild, it's youth, it's too good to waste. tapes her regrets to the microphone stand. She says you can't hold the hand of a rock and roll man very long, or count on your plans with the rock and roll man very long. Compete with the fans for your rock and roll man for very long. The girls and the bands and the rock and roll man.
Okay. So yeah, that one's a little bit different because you kind of hear it starts off just as her piano and the blonde on the bleachers. She flips her hair for you. Above the loudspeakers, you start to fall. She follows you home, but you miss living alone, and you can still hear sweet mysteries calling you. This one I like. Yeah, the bands and the roadies, loving them and leaving them. It's pleasure to try them. It's trouble to keep them. So yeah, this song is obviously about her, not just her sort of acknowledgement of sort of this duality again of trying to, the duality of being free versus being in, having somebody, feeling a connection with somebody and being close to somebody and retaining that closeness, that she finds so difficult, within this industry that she's in. Not just for her, but for her, she keeps, she's connecting with these musicians, whether it was Jackson Browne, whether it was Graham Nash, whether it was James Taylor, she sees the threat that is always present, the lingering reality of someone who's not there to be with somebody, not there to has all these competing passions, competing things, yeah, and it's just her sort of recognition of that over and over again. The girls and the bands and the rock and roll man. So maybe this is, she tapes her regrets to the microphone stand. She says you can't hold the hand of a rock and roll man very long, or count on your plans with a rock and roll man. So, yeah, it's for her, and also for potentially saying that, for a rock and roll man, he has all these other options, while you're not there or while you are there, to all these other competing interests. And yeah, I feel like that kind of sums it up. It's her, yeah, it's a lot of this is a recognition. Musically, yeah, it's cool because I said, yeah, so it begins with her and the piano, and it feels very reminiscent of the other songs on here where she's playing the piano solo with just her vocal and melodies and lyrics. And then halfway through, Steven still comes in with the drums and the bass, and then at the very end, he's sort of bringing a little bit of guitar, electric guitar, sort of little melodies here and there. But it really does, for me, it does enhance. I mean, this is probably the first song other than, You Turn Me On a Radio, which has, momentum to it. So this is the first one where it kind of puts this extra power, behind her lyrics and behind her momentum of the piano and the music. So it does to me, yeah, I really like it. It sort of, brings it this sort of, adds a little bit of power to her voice and the delivery, for sure. So that's something that you can take in. It's either there or it's not there. Some might feel that, yeah, there's an enhancement, to her delivery and the rhythm, just having those other instruments there, whether it's the rhythm section or other instruments. And some may feel like it infringes on it, or it clouds, the strength of her delivery or vocal and piano. So I don't know. I'm kind of on this one. just because it's the introduction of that. I feel like it kind of jars you a little bit, and you kind of feel that instantaneously. So I do like it in this sense. Yeah, hope you enjoy that. And again, take care, guys. Thanks for enjoying this. Hope you enjoyed it, and let me know any of your feelings when this album set for you, what it means to you, and where you'd like to go next with a full album. Any recommendations? We'll filter it down into the next album list, and always single recommendations monthly. I'm gonna put those out. That's coming up soon too. All the best stuff that you guys have given me, and I appreciate it so much. It's really kind of turning over a new leaf into sort of exploring music, and it's great to hear some choices of you guys and just feel like it's a revolution in that sense. So, a revelation, I should say. But again, take care, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.